All right there, my friends. It is a busy morning here in Wellington. I'm here at Lyle Bay Beach. You'll see lots of dogs out here. There's lots of people out in the surf over there. We'll come back and have a look at them in a little while. But I'm here testing the Insta360 Mic Air connected to my Insta360 X5, and I'm filming in 8K 30. I'm just on auto today. I haven't taken down the EV at all. Might be a little bit blown out with the highlights. I'm not sure. You tell me. I tend to take it down to minus 0.3 maybe on my X4. I haven't really found the need to do that on my X5, although I might start doing that. We'll see how it goes. Hey, buddy. So yeah, this is in 360, and you'll find this on the TechPacker 360 channel. I hope you're enjoying the videos that I have on here. So yeah, I'm here in Wellington testing the Mic Air in the X5. It's something that I've been meaning to do for a little while. Hello. But it's been absolutely atrocious weather here for the last 2 weeks. Pretty much since I received my Mic Air. Yesterday, at least it didn't rain, but it was kind of grey. But I knew today was going to be better in terms of weather. So I've just done a whole load of bunch of tests with the Mic Air with the X5 and also the Ace Pro 2. So that's just come out with the firmware updates. But this will be the first one of the Mic Air tests that I'm going to get out on the internet. Hopefully this will come out tomorrow or later today. We shall see what happens this afternoon once I get home. So yeah, it's been really atrocious, the weather. Oh, there's somebody up on the board just over there, you can see maybe. I'm also really sick of being cooped up indoors. It's been quite tricky. I'm someone who likes to go out for my walks, and that's not really been possible in the time that I've had in these last couple of weeks. There's lots of doggies over here. So yeah, it's really good to get out. So I'll film here for about 20 minutes, and then I'll head out for another little walk to get some exercise today. Yeah, lots of doggies here running around with me, around me, sorry. But you'll see, you'll just see, I've just heard a plane coming into land. You may have seen that come in behind me. So how's the Mic Air sounding? I really like it. I think it's small enough. I've got a little wind muff on me here today, although that's not really necessary. There's hardly any wind here today, which is unusual for Wellington. Oh, here goes a dog chasing after a ball. But I really like how it sounds. I think it's a really overdue addition, shall we say, to the Insta360 lineup. I'm really glad that it's working with the Ace Pro 2 as well. So I will be using that definitely when I use my Ace Pro 2 when I'm out and about. Yeah, I haven't really traveled much over the last wee while either. One place where I did go, which I want to tell you about, is New Zealand Creator Con, which I got invited to go to, which was absolutely fantastic. It was some of the biggest creators in New Zealand. 300 of us got together. Apparently they had another 800 people who were trying to get in. You were asked to apply, and then they kind of selected the people who they wanted to come to the event. So I was lucky enough to have been selected. Very much an Instagram kind of TikTok vibe though when I got there. Definitely creators who are more present on that platform. And interesting, when the YouTube representative came up and asked for hands, I was sat near the front, but I was told that it was much less than a quarter of people said that they were publishing actively on YouTube. And when I spoke to a lot of those people later on in the day, well, not lots, a few, most of them were doing shorts. Very few of them were doing long form video. And I reckon I'm the number of people doing things like this, 360 video in New Zealand, I could probably count on one hand. If you are one of those people, let me know. I'd be keen to get in contact with you. You know, it's always good to have a bit of camaraderie. I spoke to the YouTube representative later on in the day, saying, hey, you know, it's kind of lonely. doing YouTube here in New Zealand. There are some, really big creators, bigger than me, and there's lots of smaller creators. But what about those people who are kind of like in between, like me? And he acknowledged that, they could do more to be supporting New Zealanders who are creators on YouTube, but they're also a lot smaller in terms of the resources that they have available to do that. So it'll be interesting to watch this space and see what happens with YouTube support for creators in New Zealand. If you are interested, let me know. Maybe we can have a conversation about that in the comments or some other way. So there's some other interesting things going on. Other people that were there were Meta, Snapchat, and Spotify as well. So I already had an interesting conversation with Spotify. I have another channel on YouTube, which I'll indicate and I'll leave in the description, as well as my main Tech Packer channel. Something that I'm starting, something to do with being midlife in this crazy world. And I'm kind of like morphing that a little bit to talk about being Generation X in this crazy little world that we live in. And what that's like. Some of the things that we kind of like grew up with, a little bit nostalgic, but also some of the struggles that we have now, being that in-between generation, perhaps thinking about retirement, but also having older parents, and some of us still got kids, or some of them, like me, older dads who have still got very young kids. One of my kids are, still in primary school, 2 of them. So this is an interesting place to be in terms of life development. So talking to Spotify about that, and they seem keen to support me co-publishing, not just on YouTube, but also on Spotify, because they also do video now as well. So that's an opportunity. I'll be thinking about how to start making the most of that and taking that opportunity without it adding too much to my own kind of like personal workload. So that's really interesting to do and think about. And I've also got an onboarding call with Snapchat later on this week, so keep an eye on that. I will probably start using Snapchat when I'm traveling, because often when I'm traveling, I'm thinking about, this is probably going to be my main vlog channel when I'm traveling, because I think that there's an interesting opportunity to give people a 360 experience when I'm traveling, so that people can have a look around, the sorts of things that I'm seeing, and sharing that a bit more informally. I don't really want to share that on the Tech Packer channel, because I don't know if people would watch them. I don't know if people would value that. I don't know. Let me know if you think you would value that. Certainly wouldn't be here, but certainly over on my old Tech Packer channel, my main channel. And there's no real way of doing that other than shorts. I mean, there's community posts, which I think, YouTube are trying to develop. And you could do, photo carousels and things like that to a certain extent. And I may do that, but I think that there's an opportunity to do kind of a little bit more experimental video and have a bit of more of a closer relationship with people who kind of like want to follow a bit more about me and my life, not just about kind of like the tech stuff. And I guess that's the thing that's missing for me, is like in terms of social media, I don't really use Instagram for that kind of thing, or TikTok and Snapchat could be an interesting way for me to start connecting with people in that kind of a way. And it has kind of, you can search by location, you can also search by people who may be close to you and maybe meet up with them and create content with them as well. So that's an interesting thing. So I am getting an onboarding with Snapchat. The Australian rep was there, and so I'm doing that later next week on Thursday, I think. So that's going to be an interesting opportunity, I think. So let me know. Do you use Snapchat? You on Snapchat at all? Because I think I'll be setting up an account. I have an account, but it's not really being used at the moment. So I'll be doing that later this week. So that was cool. But just generally, it was such a cool opportunity to hang out with a bunch of people who I don't have to explain myself to. They get it. They get the creator's journey, they get the creator's life, and they get how lonely it can be. You know, you're constantly kind of like hustling, trying to do stuff. And the great thing I think that the organizers did, and hands down, this is like one of the best day conferences, day events I've ever been to. You know, I'm 56 years old, and you know, I've been to a few in various different parts of my life, and this was up there. It really was one of the best, if not the best. But what they said was like, look, you guys work hard. We realize money is an issue. Some of you are huge, money's not an issue. Most of you here, you're not in that position. So we wanted to create something in conjunction with the platforms who have sponsored, you know, much of this event, where you don't have to pay for anything. You need to get yourself here, but then after that, breakfast, all the activations, all the different things that we had going on that day, everything was free. Lunch was free, coffees were free, even dinner and drinks were free at the end of the day. And the whole thing kind of like wound up with the after party that went on till about 10:30, I think, at night. And then there was an after party, which I didn't go to because like I was just overwhelmed with the whole day, and I kind of like just called it a halt there because I thought I'm only going to get there, have one drink, and then just leave. So this kind of like, I didn't feel like there was a point in doing it. And I kind of like, I think I'd done a lot of networking that day, learned a lot of things, had a lot of fun, and I was just like, yeah, that's it. But you know, kudos to NZ CreatorCon, to Brooke and his team, to We Are Tenzing. They had a great vision which they brought to life and executed really, really well. And I thought that it was an amazing day. So yeah, gratitude and thanks to the team for putting that on for us. I really, really enjoyed it. It was fantastic. Oh, there's a plane just about to take off. You can hear that. Maybe you can't. How's the mic air picking that up? I don't have noise reduction on today, so I wonder how it's picking that up. Such a beautiful day. Such nice colours. I'm wearing these glasses from Ergo. These are the ones that I reviewed on my Tech Packer channel that have the speakers built into the arms as well as AI kind of like facilities and functions there as well. So yeah, it's an incredibly fun pair of glasses to be wearing. Sorry, I just got my Apple Watch just triggering me saying, hey, you look like you're on a walk. I also upgraded my Series 5 Apple Watch, which was on its second battery, and battery health was down to 86%. I found I was kind of like looking around, but I found a Series 10 being sold secondhand, and I picked it up for I think a really good price, 600 New Zealand dollars, which is probably about 60% of what it would have cost new, with a couple of extra straps, and still 4 months warranty on it at 100% battery life. So I was yeah, super pleased to get that, and I've really, really enjoyed wearing it. It's like a much bigger screen, but even then it feels lighter, so it feels really comfortable to wear overnight. Now I have been using my Ultrahuman Ring Air overnight as well. I'm really happy with that, and they've got some new special sort of like features being released on that over the last couple of weeks. I'll talk more about that in some shorts on my Tech Packer 360 channel. If you are into kind of like devices that help you to understand what's going on with your physical health, as many people are, as they get into their kind of like 50s, they start thinking about, hey, how am I going to extend my kind of like well-being so that I can enjoy middle and older age more than perhaps if I hadn't been paying attention to these things. These are a good way of kind of like getting a grip on what's going on with your sleep, with your daily activity, so you can keep up with that kind of stuff. I'm loving having the extra data. Sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming, I guess, but you know, I'm not a slave to them, but they are useful indicators, and also just check marks in terms of how my day's going and what do I need to be doing. Just useful reminders, I think. You'll notice that there's a lot of people out today. They are feeling, I think, just as cooped up as I have been over the last wee while. Everybody's enjoying going out. I do believe that dog's called Colin. Interesting. I don't know if you've been watching the Colin from Accounts TV series that's been out. Kind of really enjoyed the first series. Second season, not so much. I don't think we finished it. I think we kind of like stopped like episode 2 or something like that. Not finding it quite as enjoyable. But yeah, Colin the dog, though, good name. Yeah, speaking of dogs, I think the last time I posted here on the 360 channel, I was talking about the death of our dog Benji and how he'd passed away just recently and how we'd still been really upset about that. Well, we are still really upset about that. We had a little memorial service for our family. We got his remains back in, we cremated him, got him back in a little kind of like wooden box. So we kind of designed a plaque and had that laser printed, and we stuck that on the box and we put him in a special place near his photos. But we spent a few minutes a couple of weekends ago just kind of like going through photos and saying our goodbyes and sharing our happy memories and shedding a few tears. But we got a card from the vets which we hadn't opened, but we opened it together, and it was such a special card from our vets. And like I say, you know, Benji's from the first dog I ever had, first real vet, first real contact I'd ever really had with vets. Never really had a pet like that before, you know, goldfish or something like that. We did have a cat that we kind of like took in when I was kind of like, I'd already left home at that point though, and it was my mum and my sister who had to deal with the vet when she had to be put down. And that was also very sudden, a kidney problem. And so our vet had been absolutely wonderful. Benji had had a really nasty cancer right in the middle of like all the lockdowns and everything. And so getting him treated and getting it operated on was a real logistical challenge that our vet helped us to navigate with, you know, not being able to have kind of like personal contact between humans, and then how we manage kind of like a dog being operated on and then being passed between various different institutions was a real challenge. But we managed to kind of like get that sorted out, and that was so helpful. And he became their kind of like lockdown dog, lockdown mascot, because he had to recover with them for a while. You know, we were trying to kind of like get his pain medication right. He was not a happy doggy, but he loved going to them. He loved the vets, and they loved him. And then when they came to our house to help him on his way, they could see how loved he was by our family. And yeah, it showed in the words that they expressed themselves with in the card. It was such a lovely thing to open, and we'll keep that and we'll treasure that. Island Bay Vets, if you are in the area, I cannot speak highly enough about them. Sarah, Brooke, Tiffany, the whole team there at Island Bay Vets were absolutely magnificent and so caring and compassionate as well in the work that they do. So yeah, big shout out to Island Bay Vets and how they helped us through all of that with Benji. Yeah, we're still grieving, we're still dealing with that in our own way, but also looking at dogs and wondering when we might be ready to kind of like take on another dog in our lives. I've got, and so has my wife Sarah, we've got quite a lot of travel coming up over the next few months. In a couple of weeks we're going to Australia for a bit of a family break for a week, and then a month later, well, about 6 weeks later, when I get back, I'll be in China and the UK. My parents will just have moved into their kind of like retirement home, so I'll be just checking in with them on that and what else is going on there. And then later on in the year, a few weeks after that, in mid-September, I'll be going to Singapore, which I'm really looking forward to. It's been a long time since I was in Singapore to do anything meaningful, so that's going to be really fun. If you are in Singapore, if you're a creator in Singapore, please reach out. I'd love to meet up with you and figure out how we could create some interesting content together. Maybe you could show me around or give me some tips on some cool things to do in Singapore that isn't just kind of like on the creator trail. I know a lot of the things, and I've done quite a few of the things. I've done the flyer, I've done quite a lot of the things in terms of buses and tours. I've used the MRT, I've eaten in Little India and Chinatown, but all of that stuff was a number of years ago, so I'm keen to kind of like repeat the experience and see what that's like now. And I know Singapore is such a foods town, as well as all the cultural different things you can do there as well, with the many different communities that are there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being in Singapore for a little while. That's going to be quite a different experience for me, but also I'll be in Shanghai again for a couple of days, either end of a trip to the UK. Last time I got scuppered by a typhoon. This time I'm hoping I'll have a little bit more time than just kind of like really a few hours. Less than 24 hours at each end because of flight cancellations. So hopefully it's going to be a bit better than that this time around. Have a bit more time to go and do things and find things to eat. Whoa, that plane, I thought it was letting smoke out of its engine, but it wasn't. It was just a cloud in the background. It's just coming into land now. You can see it just over here, and you can see all the surfers. There must be, what, 20, 30 people in the water just there. If you look back out where the plane is landing, you can see them. Maybe if you zoom in. Alright, this has been an 8K30 Tech Packer 360 production using the Insta360 X5. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hit that button for more, and I'll see you soon. Check out this video next. Latest.